Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today, he is the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hello, everyone.
It's one name to rule them all. It's Murph Murphy.
How's it going, guys?
And Player 4 has entered the game. It's Daniel Clegg.
Hi, friends.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you guys very much for watching or listening. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us via podcast, thank you for making us a part of your day. We had a 1-week hiatus. Stuff happened. We had the Dark Souls 3 announcement, which I'm sure you guys went crazy, and I was like, I'm sure they're gonna go crazy for it right now.
You weren't wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, the biggest piece of news ever in the history of ever was the announcement of Pokemon Go. That's right. It is now with a what's augmented reality Pokemon game called Pokemon Go, and it's gonna be taking over in the mobile market sometime in 2016. And it was a project that the late Satoru Iwata was a part of, so this is like his last great thing. So guys, is it a great idea or the greatest idea of Pokemon Go? I'll start off with Curtis.
All right, there, Colbert.
So this is from a marketing perspective. This is brilliant. Okay?
It is.
It's probably, in my opinion, okay, I might be wrong, but Pokemon is in some ways, their most marketable creation ever.
Mm-hmm.
They have the cards, they have the games, they have the figures, they have the pins,
they have the TV show.
TV show, they have,
Books,
the secondary
there's
TV
everything.
show, manga, just about any type of medium you could ever have, Pokemon is there. They're saying it's free. Now my question is, it's obviously a free-to-play model, okay? What is that model looking like? And secondly, how can I prevent my wife from accidentally walking into a really bad part of town because she's going to try to catch a Charizard?
I don't think you can, Curtis.
You
If
can't
there's
catch a Charizard
in the slums
No.
of Tampa.
I know.
Your wife's going there.
Yeah, that's the part I'm like, you're not allowed to go into certain parts of town while playing this game.
Oh,
What was it? I saw one meme that was like this island in Italy where they put a lot of like plague victims, and there's like a mental institution there, and they're like, the Italian government, no, we don't have anybody there, but there's a Misdreavus over there. Take our dusk stone. You're gonna need it for this journey.
God, all right.
What do you think, Mark?
I don't even know what she evolves to because I stopped at that
Grandpa
point.
Grandpa Murph doesn't even know what a misdevious is.
Misdreavus. She was in second generation.
It's a Pokemon of some kind.
I figured.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we should play the game. Granted, Curtis, maybe Clegg might have this advantage of what's a Pokemon and what's not a Pokemon.
I probably have a higher advantage, but my wife probably has the best advantage.
Oh,
My wife knows everything.
Yeah.
I did Generation 1, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did
played
one. I did
every
1 and 2.
generation. She still plays to this day, so I mean, I think she's
Her collection is impressive.
Okay.
Yes, it
While
is.
you talk about it, I'm gonna try to write down some names.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Okay.
So here's my problem. I don't think Pokemon is a good game mechanically.
I can understand.
Theming wise, it's great. Story, whatever. Story doesn't count in terms of Pokemon.
There's a
It's for-
story.
Exactly. But mechanically, Pokemon is not super satisfying to me. And then they've done this type of game before with the ARG, with the augmented reality, Ingress, Google's, whatever, green team, blue team. You gotta collect the nodes. I mean, yeah, this is a thing you can play right now. You can walk around and find the alien nodes in your town and look at them. It's
But the common theme is that you have to do things in the real world to unlock things in this virtual space, right? Yep.
so like the game's going to work. Like that's not even a technical whatever. But like, is it a fun game?
That's the
I
question.
think this is going to be really big because everyone wants to live the dream of traveling around to go find Pokemon, right? That's what you do in the game. You travel the world to go find these things, which can only spawn in certain locations at certain times. I'm sure they're going to put all kinds of different restrictions on where these things can be found, right? To make it interesting. There's probably going to be partnerships where you go to Disneyland because that's the only place
Oh,
you
yeah.
can get at Clefairy or something. You know, they're
Yeah.
going to have those
Oh.
location-based partnerships. I'm
Like,
sure.
If there's I could get excited about, like, if you're at like some kind of convention, like maybe like a PokeCon or like Dragon Con, like I went to last week. But like if like they did like we got to fight the big Pokemon. I don't know what's the big
There's
a
Blastoise
million.
there.
There's a
what's
million
what's like
of
the
them.
the legendary god Pokemon that created the
There's
universe?
like a bunch of them.
Okay.
I
So,
mean,
so you have to get a whole, like, there's like 100 people and they're all in a crowd and they're all fighting the same Pokemonster.
yeah.
And I don't say that in like, oh, Pokemon. Like, no, this is a
No,
like,
I understand. what you're
giant Monster Hunter-esque kind of monster with like hundreds of people throwing their Pikachus and squirrels at it.
Well,
I
I
wonder
mean,
if it will have that sort of multiplayer aspect to it. We know very little about this.
Yeah,
we
that's-
do know that there is battling. They specifically have stated there's some form of battling that you can do between people, and capturing. And that's about all we know right now. But I think
There's so little about this that has been revealed
correct.
that I'm
Yeah.
really not too excited about this. I also really don't like the whole Pokemon dongle thing you have to purchase. It ties into a smartphone app. So what is this dongle doing for you other than being advertising for the Pokemon game?
It's just a wearable. It probably
Exactly.
vibrates when you're near a Pokemon or something.
So
you
you
know.
look at your phone and you see
Your
what's
phone
going
can
on.
do that.
Yeah,
Your
but I
phone can do
mean, yeah. Look, Apple Watch. I don't understand it. I got friends who have it.
Again, same thing. Your phone can do that, right? I mean,
Right,
I guess
yeah.
I don't understand the dongle other than we need some more advertising for this game, which I guess is fine. You know, that's a marketing move.
Well, here's I'm gonna throw this scenario at you. Mom has her phone. Kid has his dongle. They're at the supermarket, and the kid's what, 6? I don't know, 8,
Uh-huh.
too young for a smartphone. But if he wants, like, if they're walking around the supermarket, he can tug on mom's arm and said, "Ooh, my Poke thing is vibrating. Can I see your phone?"
I
Yeah.
suppose, yeah.
Like,
Okay,
that's-
so you're right. There
Yeah.
are some scenarios where it would be useful. Okay,
Let's-
yeah, you've convinced me.
Let's also
Alright.
throw just another piece out there. You know, this might actually be their payment model.
Oh, yeah.
The game itself might be free. You know, you can do whatever you want in the game, but you have to buy this $20 thing.
Yep.
You know, there you go. Problem
Hadn't-
fixed. You have a
I hadn't
complete.
thought about it that way because you know the phone
Makes
is
sense.
essentially going to be a Pokedex, right?
Yeah. Well,
That's
I
what
mean,
the Pokedex
in-
was. It was a smartphone basically.
Yeah.
In the series.
Before
So-
there were smartphones, may I add?
Right. Exactly. Sure. So that's very interesting. What I like about this, and the broader concept, is that this is the first big push from Nintendo to do a smartphone application that I think is really going to take off. You know,
Oh, yeah.
they've done a lot of reorganizing in their company. They got a new president. All their heads of department have been shifted around so they can refocus their efforts. And mobile is really big for them now, moving forward. Right? I think they announced a dozen games over the next 2 or 3 years.
Right, and
So-
quite frankly, I kind of like the idea of maybe, hey, Nintendo sweeps into the app market, raises the expectation and prices a little bit,
Uh-huh.
because right now it's just like a sea of garbage.
Well, think
It's
about
a
just
sea of
getting.
freeware.
Think
Yeah.
about playing $5 and getting to play Super Mario World on your, Android or iPhone device. That's gonna
Sure,
be huge.
right?
Yeah, it is. I especially like the idea of like augmented reality because I'm glad that like 'cause this was something I'm surprised it took Nintendo this long to do because Nintendo's always been about innovation more than graphics. Like, I mean, that's what they did with the Wii. It's what they did with the handhelds, and so
I mean-
it's like. I mean, yeah, there is the Oculus Rift and everything. Like they have the 3DS, like the 3D
no.
without. Well, I mean,
You got so this here. I'm in my hand. I've
That's
got this is a plastic Google Cardboard,
Mhm.
and this cost me $25. It's sturdy. I can throw whatever at it. If you want a pre-built Google Cardboard that's made out of cardboard, that's $5.
yeah,
Right.
And like the 3D's pretty good.
It is. I've tried it out once. But like what I was saying, like I'm kind of surprised that Nintendo took this long. Like I'm not surprised that Nintendo's actually doing this because I feel like it was only a matter of time until they brought out Pokemon because I feel like that was that was the game to be in augmented reality, because you can't really do that with any other franchise that they have. I mean, I guess if you want to be creative, if they got into like the Oculus Rift, like the VR style, you could technically do a good Metroid where like you could stick your arm out and your arm is now the gun, etc. like that. But
Mario Kart would be good in VR. Too.
Yeah.
I'd freaking dig that.
yeah, because I really want to see Luigi's smug face after he blue shells me
That would be
in
awesome.
VR.
Just do the anger face driving by.
And I mean, I think the thing is, Nintendo's a Japanese company. Smartphones, while are popular, are not as popular as they are here in Japan. I think they've recently caught up. It was just a slower to adopt. For I don't know why. I just know that it was.
Yeah.
So now,
And as a Japanese company and a very conservative Japanese company, they tend to move very slowly in changing their focus and shifting their direction as a company. They're not as spry as your Sony, your Microsoft, or
well, at least they're not Konami. Like
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think what was funny is like I'm pretty sure
we
if,
can all.
We can all agree that Konami's awful.
yes, we can all agree that. I'm surprised that like they didn't announce this at E3. Like if they were able to somehow like make it work earlier, because like they could have won E3 just off that statement alone. Granted, I'm greatly exaggerating, but it's the fact that like Sony, hey, Last Guardian, Nintendo, Pokemon in real life. How about that?
I don't think Nintendo cares about E3
I
anymore.
don't think they do.
I don't think
I
they'd.
think-
Yeah.
They just want to put out their Nintendo Directs. Like they know where their fan base is, and hey, if you own a Wii or you own a Wii U, you can see our stuff. Like
Yeah.
why not?
Especially also with
Direct line.
yeah, Mario Maker just came out as well, and I know that's doing very well.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I thought was it's a brilliant idea.
Just to your point, Chase, really quickly, I want to talk why they might not have talked about it before, or why they haven't done something like this before. Is maybe they haven't found the right thing. Maybe they've been working on projects behind the scene for years, and it's just kind of always come out very blah.
Yeah.
And this is the first one they found that's actually they feel deserves kind of that name recognition.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this thing has definitely been in development for a couple years, right? Like video games don't get made in 6 months.
No,
it's
absolutely
a year
not.
thing.
But
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's been like, they've had other ideas for going into mobile, and they're just not something they're really interested necessarily in those other things. They want something very specifically mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree this is a big one to keep our eyes on over the next year.
Yes.
Because I have a feeling this is really going to take off, kind of like the Amiibos have. No one really thought that was going to take off. Those are kind of weird. You're gonna sell toys, kind of like Skylanders. Okay, Nintendo. They sold, like 8 million?
I love my Mega Man amiibo. Like I don't have it out of the box because like I feel like I should, but I might play with it. It's like no, I'm just gonna keep you there.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they have sold 8 million in America alone.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's not even
ridiculous.
including the rare ones.
Yeah.
The rare ones are almost impossible to find.
It's pretty ridiculous.
All right. I briefly just created a list of 10 Pokemon. Some of them are real, some of them are fake.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna start
Okay.
off with Murph, then I'm gonna go with Clegg, and then I'm gonna go with Curtis. Because Curtis, you have the better advantage. I want your guess to be last.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
Are we all guessing on each of them?
We're all gonna guess on each of them.
Okay.
Murph,
Whew.
Chin Chow,
That's fake.
Clegg,
Chin Chow. That sounds like, not to be racist, but something Oriental.
Well, Pokemon
Like
is from
a
Japan.
Dog. It sounds like a dog.
See, I think it's
Chinchou.
like a chinchilla chow.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It
It's like
sounds
a dog.
it
I
sounds
think
like
it's fake.
It sounds like a breed of dog, actually.
Yeah.
Curtis.
I actually think it's a Pokemon.
It is real. It is a Pokemon.
All right, I will not.
Is
be
it
the
a dog
best.
Pokemon?
I don't know.
think so.
I just went on Wikipedia and
Pokemon, I
looked at
think.
the list.
I think it's a poodle Pokemon.
If it is a poodle Pokemon, then it actually makes sense. I mean, they named an owl Pokemon a hooch.
Chow is actually a one of those lanternfish kind of looking Pokemon.
All right,
Oh,
Gligar, Murph.
So the Japanese, they like their kaiju. That kind of sounds like a kaiju. I'm gonna go with real.
Clegg.
That sounds like a combo between a Goldeen and a Gengar. I'm gonna go with real.
Jet.
I'm gonna go with false. I don't think it's a real.
It is a real Pokemon.
Yes.
We are
Wow.
tied at 1.
Wait,
What
is
is
it a
it?
combination between a Goldeen
Gligar?
and Gengar?
Gligar. Gligar.
GLI.
Gligar.
Gligar. Oh, it's like a crab bat thing.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That is
That's Gligar, by the way.
Gligar. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I would not have. All right, not what I
All
thought
right.
it was at all.
Chaozu.
That's a Dragon Ball Z character, isn't it?
You tell me.
I said no. I'm gonna say that's Dragon Ball Z.
Clegg.
If you're watching Dragon Ball Z proper, it is a Dragon Ball Z character. If you're watching Dragon Ball Z abridged, it's totally a Pokemon.
Double points for no. Jet. I already
It's not a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not
That's-
a Pokemon.
That's that crazy looking like tiny.
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
slime-
Yeah,
The
with
little
the red,
line, but in
cheeks.
DBZ abridged, Nappa, who's an idiot in that parody series, thinks he's a Pokemon.
All right, you can see that.
Throws a Pokeball at him. It's right in the face.
Uh,
Anyways.
Delcatty. Murph.
Delcatty. Yeah, sure, that's a Pokemon.
Clegg.
No, I don't think so, because Catty is weird. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
but there's a lot of cat Pokemon.
Jet.
I think it's a Pokemon.
It is in fact a Pokemon.
Yeah,
Let's
is
go-
it a cat?
I don't know. I just looked
I
it
don't know.
up.
Let me find out. How do you
I'll
spell
look
it?
it up.
Delcatty.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
it is.
Pokemon.
such
Did I
a
pronounce it correctly?
Yeah.
That's
Delcatty.
some kind of like cat spike thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Evolves from Skitty, which is not like an Eevee. Looks just
it's a
like it.
kitty.
It is a
Okay,
kitty.
Raycon. Murph.
That is a convention where you shoot ray
Right.
guns.
No, it's a convention for Rayman specifically.
Oh, okay, Rayman. Yeah, all right.
Clegg.
No, it's a Rayman convention.
All right. Jet.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it is not a Pokemon.
Okay.
All right, ha!
All right.
Can't fool me. I'm the very best Pokemon master.
Oh, it's
Number one.
Whatever was.
Gary sucks.
Here you go, Murph. You're getting there.
Spell you later. Anyways.
Piggy Walk. Murph.
I'm sorry.
Did you say pig Ewok?
Piggy Walk.
Like, as in it is a pig that an Ewok from episode 6 found?
Yeah, right. It's like Man Bear Pig, but it's a piggy walk.
Okay.
Sure.
I think this is the
Piggy
pig Ewok.
Yeah, Piggywok.
Pig.
Oh,
Oh, pig.
Piggy.
Pig walk.
Piggy
Pig
Walk. Piggywok.
Oh, I bet it is a pig that has a walk on its head. 'Cause that's kind of how Pokemon are. So I'm
Like
gonna go with
the
that.
chef guy from Kirby.
That's fine.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since that's also a Nintendo property, I'm going to agree with Murph. I think it's a Pokemon.
You think it's a Pokemon?
Do.
To be
Jet.
contrary, I'm gonna say it's not a Pokemon.
It is in fact not a Pokemon. Curtis gets the point.
You got me with my love. Oh wait, I don't like Ewoks. No,
You don't like the Yub Yubs?
Nope, no Yub Yub.
Yum yum.
Nuptup.
Dub.
I'm sorry, what?
Nuptup.
Look,
What?
Nuptup.
just
I
get, it's Ewok speech.
Nuptup. Nuptup.
Oh, this is a Pokemon.
Oh.
I thought you were doing.
I thought you were still going
yeah.
off of Ewoks.
I thought you were going some Ewok like.
No.
Don't.
Like,
They're-
say,
they're-
What was it
They're
again?
like,
It was
they're like
Nuptup.
banging on the stormtrooper
Nuptup?
heads.
Yeah.
Nuptup.
right. They do a yub yub.
Yeah. Nuptup.
Yes.
Nuptup.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. It's a nut Pokemon.
Clegg.
No, it's an Ewok explicative for White Devil, referring to the Stormtroopers.
So no.
Oh,
Okay. Curtis.
I don't say it's not a Pokemon.
It is in fact not a Pokemon.
Oh,
aha.
I got fooled. I got fooled by your Ewok.
by your Nuptup.
It's
Oh, you're
5
Nuptup.
to 3. Jet is leading.
Woo! Pokemon.
Quadrio. Murph.
What is that?
Quadrio. Quadrio.
Oh, so it's like Dug Trio, except it's 4.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we'll go
Right.
with that. It's the fourth.
I
I
four.
agree.
It's you got to have the sequel to the popular third one, except it's not
Right.
quite as good. Kind of
I
like
agree.
Genesis.
I'm gonna disagree.
Curtis is
Oh,
right. I made it up.
They didn't evolve the
They get really lazy after the
Look,
third evolution.
that's
I mean,
pretty-
after like Generation 2, like Sudowoodo looked like something a 5-year-old drew.
I'm
Well,
just
they-
saying. If you wanna make-
after the third evolution, it's always mega whatever.
Oh,
It was a good logic, Murph. I
It
agree.
was good logic though.
like you could have like Pentago.
Yeah, yeah.
Intigo. Then it's just like
Million ego.
Um,
Sounded a little bit too.
that almost sounded racist.
Yeah, I apologize.
Lopunny or Lopunny.
Sure. Yeah. At this point.
Lopunny.
Yeah, it's a lemon and a bunny.
All right. So you're saying it's a Pokemon?
I've cracked the code. Lemon and a bunny. You just
All right. So
jam
Murph
two things together.
thinks it's a
Yes.
Pokemon. Clegg,
I think you made that up. That doesn't sound. Real. No.
Curtis.
I think it's made up as well.
It is a real Pokemon. Murph with the point.
Oh,
Is it?
all right.
Oh,
What
is
is it?
Okay, I don't know. I just looked up
okay.
names that sounded
How do you spell
ridiculous.
it? How do you spell it?
Lopunny.
Oh my God! What
It is a
that?
yellow bunny. You're right.
Yes.
Oh,
Is it
Alright.
really?
Yes,
It's a
it
yellow-
is.
See, I cracked the
It's a
cracked the
yellow and
code.
brown bunny thing.
Oh, make sure you keep on safe search when you look up that one.
God, you're
There
right.
are some things that you don't want to
All
say.
right. Mm.
All right, final one.
Oh my.
Fernwall. Murph.
Fern. No, that's that.
F
no, you
E
can't-
R N W H A L.
Oh, like a whale. It's like a furnace and a narwhal. So sure.
Your logic is so awesome.
His logic is sound.
I mean,
Clegg.
I think
That's
it is
Pokemon.
I think it is the lesser-known second sequel to Fern Gully, Fern Wall.
well,
So
Would
no,
you-
not
Oh
a
my god.
Wait, what was it? Learn
Fernwall.
low,
Fernwall.
Fernwall. Fernwhal.
I don't think it's a Pokemon. I have no idea what it is though.
All right, so Murph said no. Clegg said.
I said yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Murph said yes. Clegg
I
said,
said no.
and Jess says no. It is in fact not a Pokemon.
Ah,
Ah.
dang it.
It should be a movie.
Learn.
Curtis has 7 points.
Well-
Clegg had 4, and Murph also had 4, and that was Pokemon or Fauxkemon. I made that up right on the spot. Not that
Yes.
bad. Not that bad. Speaking of things that just don't end, have you guys seen the new Transporter movie yet?
No.
No, I heard it.
Transporter
I heard
movie?
it wasn't terribly good.
It's not bad. Like Ray Stevenson's good in it, and I think like he's the one redeeming character. I hate the female that's in it. But it's like before I was like, okay, this is a Transporter movie without Jason Statham. I don't know if I can watch this because
what are they? Is it like a straight to video or a straight to
No,
Netflix? or-
it's a reboot. That's what it really is. And the girlfriend and I,
I've never
we went on a
heard of
romantic
this.
date and watched it in IMAX. And
All
it
right,
wasn't
well,
like it had the typical like Transporter, like really stupid stunts, like
That are awesome.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you know how like in the second one, like he goes off a ramp and happens to hit a crane that takes off the bomb in his car,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stuff like that. Like one of them was he reaches a roundabout that would just happens to have 3 fire hydrants and hits all 3 of them, and like the motorcyclists like just happen to hit the water, and oh, there they all go. And then
Well, if you're a motorcyclist, wouldn't you want rather them like hit like a hydrant? Like that would just stop a motorcycle.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I'm just saying.
oh no, and then it gets better. Like towards the end, this isn't a spoiler. This actually happens in the movie, and it's kind of irrelevant, but at the same time, it's like what? He goes on a jet ski, goes onto the sand, jumps off the jet ski, proceeds to go in a motion with his hands back behind his head, feet first, into a moving vehicle, breaks through and kicks out the driver.
I think Brock Simpson pulled that once.
I'm pretty sure, like, well, it's Ed Skrein plays the transporter, the guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know what character he was. He probably died in Game of Thrones for all I know. And
Probably. I mean,
yeah,
It's a pretty good bet.
yeah,
good bet.
it's a fairly decent bet. And he didn't do a bad job. I liked Ray Stevenson more. The girl antagonist, I guess you could say, I hated her. Ray Stevenson was good. I think it's the only redeeming quality. And I saw it's like,
I think with a movie like that, though, you go into it expecting to see.
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's like-
ridiculousness, and as long as they embrace that in their movie, they don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm going in it to watch the action. Like, it's like reading a Playboy for the articles. Like, no one does that. I'm going in for like the nonsensical stuff that I go to expect. And like with this, I expect like a whole bunch of like car stunts and everything. And what's weird is like I think like every establishing shot was like used in an Audi commercial, because it's like, oh, we're in Italy. Here's an Audi. Oh, we're gonna pull into a parking garage. Here's an Audi. And then what's even worse, it's like, should we have the black one in or the silver one in? It's like, why not both? And they have them go into a black one. He goes, oh no, we're being tailed. Let's go into the silver Audi instead. But goes to the parking garage. They all transfer into the car and then go, whoop, sorry this had to happen. Boom, and explode the other Audi. So apparently Audis are great, have great power stealing, great maneuverability, and great on explosions.
Sure.
So overall, wait for Netflix and watch it, or wait for a second running of it, because it's entertaining. But by God, that story is just awful.
Can we just equate it to pretty much a Jackie Chan movie?
Yeah, we can. Like okay. I think one of the big ones I remember for Jackie Chan was Who Am I?
Oh yeah, that one was.
And I was like, well, I'm supposed to start start liking Jackie Chan movies, and I'm watching this. I'm like, what is going on?
That's pretty normal for Jackie Chan movies.
No,
Lost in translation.
Yeah. Or do you ever watch Miracles with Jackie Chan? Did you guys ever watch that one? Oh my gosh, I remember watching that as a kid. And there's one scene where they're at the harbor and the inspector's there, and Jackie Chan's like a criminal, and he's like coming home. Like somebody needs to distract the officer. And the officer's coming by, holding a banner as well, welcoming somebody. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sir, is this your banner? Why, yes, it is. Boom! And just punches him right in the face, and the guy goes down. Next scene later, goes up to the police officer. Again, it's like, oh, hey, Inspector, how's your eye? Oh, it's good. How'd you know about it? I'm the one that punched you. Oh, are you here to turn yourself in? No, I'm here to darken the other. And punches him right in the other eye.
What?
Wow.
I know, it was glorious. All right, enough of me rambling. I remember what I wanted to talk about. So another big thing that happened that's not getting a lot of publicity, but I feel like in the world of esports, it's something to talk about. A big, according to Polygon.com, a big cheating scandal happened at the what's the tournament called, Clegg? I just forgot the name.
Last Call.
The Last Call, yeah. The Hearthstone Last Call tournament that ESL was holding. ESL it's held by a third party, but is a Blizzard partner nonetheless. A guy was apparently, with the Blizzard tournaments nowadays, I did not know this. You're supposed to have only 3 decks, and with these 3 decks, you have to win with each deck. So you can't. Let's say I have like a Hunter, Mage, Warrior. I have to win a game with a Hunter, a game with a Mage, and a game with the Warrior. So
and you cannot double up on a class. And you can't have 2 mages or 2 warlocks.
Correct. And so you are asked to upload the screen, and then they eventually found out that one of the guys was actually carrying multiple decks. And all that ESL did, mind you, the prize is to go to BlizzCon, which is kind of a big deal. The ESL was like, don't do it again. Mind you, the finals of a tournament.
Was it definitively proven that he did it, or was it just suspected? Okay.
No, it is definitively proven.
Definitively proven that he had more than one copy of a class deck. Like he had 2 hunters, for example.
He had all 9 slots filled.
Right, and that could have been one of each class, because there are 9 classes.
Yes.
But no, he had 2 of a class. It was not definitively proven that he was using more than one of a class.
Yes.
Right, so there's no way to tell if he had cheated by bringing more than one class deck to the tournament, or using more than one. Right. He did bring more than one, which is not allowed in the rules.
I'm pretty sure that Blizzard has a deck list of whatever the game, like the games that he played. Like, so if Blizzard really wanted to know, they could know. But either way, I think this is like he probably that's
the one thing I want to ask is
it's hard because the rules state you cannot bring more than one
Yeah.
class deck to the tournament, which he broke.
Yeah.
He
Broke
did
the
not.
rules.
He did not
he did.
use them, which is why they were lenient on him as far as punishment.
But all right, so I'm going to ask you this. Granted, I know Clay kind of answered it. Did they go too lenient on the punishment? And also, do you think that this will affect future Blizzard games and tournaments? We'll start off with Daniel Clegg, our Hearthstone master.
Well, Masters got.
Well, you're better than me, and I haven't played Curtis.
Sure, yeah, by that definition, we'll
Yes.
take that.
Yeah.
I think this is an issue for the next few months because I would be astounded if we don't see a tournament mode implemented in the game in the next year. And
Yeah.
when that happens, they will build in locks and restrictions so that you cannot hack the system, essentially. They'll have you lock in decks, and then you'll play with them, right? They'll have varying formats, like they've had 2 or 3 formats over the last 2 years of this game's lifespan. And they'll include those, and there will be systems in place to stop this from happening. It's interesting for the next 6 months while we wait for that feature to pop up, but they have said that they're working on it.
See, and I would want to say that I think they're trying not to be Magic Online because like it's a different audience. And the problem with when you run a Magic Online tournament is even in like a short tournament it can be like 4 or 5 hours if you go all the way to the finals because everyone has to finish a game and then I guess they have to win 3 out of 3. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
best of 5.
Yeah, it's best
Oh,
of 5.
Yeah, so they have to win 3 games.
Good lord. So like that could be an hour a match and then if there's 9 rounds probably.
Well, I mean, granted, how many cards are used in a Magic Online tournament?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Hearthstone, it's only 30 cards.
Well, the thing with Magic Online is that like it's built into the UI. Like you lock in a deck and then that's your deck.
Yeah.
And like that's like it just like the UI runs itself. And granted, it often crashes and then people get dropped and it's terrible. But
But it's
there's
Blizzard, and that won't happen, right? If there's one
well,
company
yeah.
that will make that mistake, it's them.
well, I mean, yeah. To be fair, like if any company that would do it right, it would be Blizzard. It's going to take them 5 years,
Sure.
but they'll get it
Right.
right.
And that's just
I
the
mean-
patch.
Yeah. Like
Love
I
you,
agree
Blizzard.
with you saying, Murph, in that the tournament feature would not be a game-defining mode where everyone who plays Hearthstone would be taking part of it because it caters to the top 10% of players, right? Not
Right.
everyone is going to be using it. But I do think they recognize it is an extremely important tool in the esports scene, which they have embraced.
right. I mean, they've kind of done it before already with arena matches, right? Like you can't swap out your arena deck.
Right, there you go. Perfect example. You're
Like-
stuck with that until you lose 3 times or you win 12
Yeah.
times.
Jet, what do you have to say?
I'm gonna just go. I don't play a lot of Hearthstone, so I'm just
Alright.
gonna say this: they cheated. Sorry, you cheated. You not necessarily cheated, but you broke the rules.
Yeah, especially when you're at the
regardless of what it is. I mean, this is kind of. Let me put it this way: if it was League of Legends or it was Dota 2, it would be instant ban. There would
Yes.
be no questions.
Oh, yeah.
They would be kicked
Mhm.
out. Likewise, Counter-Strike, it would be the same thing. So, in my opinion, you hold the same rules for everybody. They break the rules, they get kicked out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
there's been like tournament eliminations in Magic where like a guy has a 16 card out of a 15, and one of those 16 cards is a basic land or like a duplicate or something. Like they don't
Or an
play.
accidental
Yeah.
entry. Like people.
Or if you have a 14 card sideboard, you're out of the tournament. Like
Right.
Like the shop I go to play my board games and my RPGs, they have Magic tournaments all the time, and they're always watching. So I mean, and just the slightest thing can get you kicked out. Having the wrong backs can get you kicked out.
oh yeah.
I agree with Curtis. You have to be very consistent in your rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me give you another example. Chase, if you and I were playing Hearthstone in one of these tournaments and you were just wailing on me, really kicking my butt, and we had a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely evident in the game that I was not going to win. However, if you did not have lethal on the board, meaning you would kill me next turn, tournament rules, as they typically are used in the esports scene, say we have to replay the match, which is advantageous to me,
Yeah.
but
That seems
is
kind of
a
rife for
cons-
abuse.
Right, sure. But that's why they try to do these things LAN, where the
Yeah.
Right.
overseers have control over that sort of
Yeah.
you know
And I
background technical feature.
Yeah. I realized like with this Hearthstone tournament, first off, I completely agree with Curtis in the fact that when you Hearthstone's not prestigious as of yet, but it's trying to be. It's about to be there. League of Legends like flat out kicks out its best players for just toxic behavior. Like if you're a bad representative of the game, they will kick you out. And that's the one thing I respect about them. I'm not sure if Dota 2 does it or if Counter Strike does it.
They do as well.
All right, then you know what? More props to them because they hurt the community. Like that's the one thing I hate with cheating. I hate cheating. Like I hate like people that do it because it's like I don't mind if you bend the rules a little bit, like you're thinking outside the box. But at the same time, like if you're flat out cheating, like especially in this type of scenario, like Blizzard needs to have like actual sanctioned tournaments, like with supervision, because this online stuff, like it doesn't work. If you can hold a convention, you can hold a tournament, and it's probably much cheaper as well.
It might be cheaper. I mean, I don't know. It's not necessarily free for your participants, though. Like, even if Blizzard said, "All right, yeah, we'll put you up in a hotel and fly you out there to California, Murph," I couldn't go because I have work. Like,
Right. Well, I want to counter one thing you guys are saying. This was a tournament put on by
ESL, who
not,
is it?
Not Blizzard.
Yes, they are ESL. Like, if they're an esports league, mind you, also partners of Blizzard. Like, they're a Blizzard partner, so Blizzard should have a hand in this. Like, one supervisor on each deck could have easily done it. Like, and one on each computer or each iPad or whichever could have easily prevented this. Like, excuse me. I also saw
many of these tournaments are online only, where the players are not in the same location, so you can't have an overseer unless you're sending a rep out to wherever these players live.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
Something as simple as maybe a webcam or something like that might work.
Or you know what would have worked is just a deck list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they do that. They require deck lists, and they require screenshots showing that these are the 3 decks I'm bringing. You can see my UI right now, and there are only 3.
Well, I mean,
3
he had
decks shown.
I guess like the fact that there was a deck list, like you could if you played like if you could see, like, because in Hearthstone you draw 90% of your deck most of the time
For most of the game, sure, yeah,
like 2/3 of it at least.
Well, another thing, like another thing I noticed, like I watched the Heroes of the Storm tournament, and like they weren't playing at the arena; they were playing at home with each other's computers, and I feel like you're so susceptible to cheating. It's not even funny. And it's like, I feel like Blizzard, if you're wanting to do this, if you're trying to take advantage of this esports game, which you have a game that can do it and could bring in a good amount of people, you make it so susceptible to cheating and violations. Like, you need to prevent that.
Unless it's like world whatever, I don't think there's just, for the players, it's impractical to not do it at your house. Like, that's just a thing. Sorry. Like, but people,
right.
Nobody, like, there are professional athletes out there. No, I mean, you're not one of them.
at a scene like the Hearthstone World Championships, which take place at BlizzCon, everyone flies to the same location where everything can be controlled and overseen by Blizzard, right? At the North American Championships, I think they did the same thing, where everyone went to a central location. I think the only solution to anything less than that, when people are limited to playing online from wherever they live, is the game itself has to take these restrictions and gameplay modes and all these requirements into account and build it in.
I mean, but cheating's a big business as well. Like, there's somebody did like some kind of expose and went to like the people who do like server side, or I guess it's client side, but like
manipulation, yeah.
Well, yeah, and then they have like, there's like DRM on the cheating engines thing. Like, you pay a monthly subscription to use their cheat engine, and they like authenticate to their server. It's crazy how much money is involved in that sort of stuff.
But to counter that, I would go with what Chase was saying, where that is where the publishing company like Blizzard needs to build in, security restrictions and whatever malware detection systems are required to counter that sort of behavior.
My issue with that, okay, and then this is actually from stuff I've been studying, is that's almost impossible. The stuff you're talking about, you can never protect against everything. It's impossible.
The only way you can prevent it,
absolutely
the only way you
impossible.
can prevent it is by having everybody in the room, building your own
closed circuit.
computer. Yeah, building your own computers. You know what's on the computer, etc.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
So
So it's a real problem across the entire esports industry because you're right. As long as cheating exists and as long as there's money on the line, cheating will exist.
yeah,
Absolutely.
You can never weed out 100% of it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
part
and I-
of the scene, unfortunately, and it's the same way for real sports.
yeah, it is.
There's always cheating going on.
But at the same time,
Deflation.
there's going to be that point where they can't cheat. And then, I
Yeah,
mean,
then rubber hits the road.
and that's what I think that happened. I forget who it happened to. I think it happened to a Counter-Strike team one time where they were cheating. Nobody can prove it. And then they said, okay, we're going to do an in-person tournament. And they got wrecked. It was pretty pitiful how badly they got schooled. And it's because
Yeah.
they can't use their cheat engines.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a very, first off, great contribution by everybody. I will pay attention to this as it goes along, and especially with esports now is becoming a much bigger and bigger thing, and it's hitting much more media outlets as well. We'll see how this story comes in the near future. So, final topic for the night. I recently, I probably sound awful. I was about to hack up a Lugia as I was making a very heated discussion. I'm recovering from like a head cold. I was just pretty much full of just phlegm. Like, it was disgusting. It was like, I want to play a game, but the problem is that, like, my brain, it can't fully function. So it's like, I can't play a nice story-driven game because it's like, I want to focus and stuff. So, guys, I ask you, what is a good game to play while you're sick? And I will start off with Murphy.
Well, so if I'm sick, I'm in my bed, I'm wrapped up, and I don't get sick often because I have a dwarven constitution, apparently, to match my height.
So you get advantage on your saving throws?
Exactly.
Right, Constitution.
So
Anyways.
so anything that's on my phone is what what I'm playing. So recently that was the original Final Fantasy was on my phone because
Oh man, number
story's
one.
story's not great in that one, guys. But I mean, Hearthstone's on there now. I also got Lifeline, which is an interesting one if you feel like that. 80 Days, fantastic, but it's more story driven. It's kind of just like reading.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I'm sick, I don't want to. I just want to phone, phone in face.
Wait, hold up your phone again.
It's an OtterBox.
I have the same.
Oh, look at you guys, twinsies.
Mine's broken. Clegg.
Well, I agree with everything Murph just said, and you made a good point, Chase. Nothing with story, because you can't focus or appreciate good or bad writing, right? So anything with repetitive gameplay. Most recently, I've been doing, not that I've been sick, but a game I would play if I were sick, or any of those repetitive base building games like Fallout Shelter or Tiny Tower or the Star Wars equivalent, which I played for a while but can't remember the name of now.
And it's
Tiny
awful.
Death Star.
Tiny Death Star, yeah, of course. Tiny Death Star, Tiny Tower. Those just make you log in every few hours to check on the progress of things going on in the background. And since you're stuck in bed for a day or two, it's a perfect opportunity to just check in between naps, right? So repetitive gameplay, iOS games for me.
Jet.
I actually have to agree with all these guys. I mean,
Shit.
no, I mean, the
I
big
meant
one.
Dark Souls. Only Dark Souls.
Yeah, only Dark Souls. No, I'm not that hardcore.
I want to feel worse.
That's the hardcore of the hardcore.
No, well, actually, Clegg can attest to this. I was really sick when Dark Souls 2 was first came out, and I was coughing and like sneezing and stuff, and I was still playing through it. But generally, I don't play video games when I'm sick because I usually just sleep and eat, and that's kind of what I do when I get sick. But when recently I've gotten this game on my phone called Bloons TD5. And tower defenses are just great for
Tower
that kind of
defenses
stuff.
are really good.
Yeah, they are.
And so
I
it's
miss
just
Warcraft
it's
3.
really simple. It's a little bit slower paced. It's it doesn't have a lot of active things that you have to do while playing it, but it's kind of gets that very satisfying kind of gamey feel to it.
Yeah. Like I tried playing Hearthstone. It's like, this I have to be strategic, and I really don't want to be strategic. I thought about like playing Painkiller, just because like mindless
gosh.
violence and just like, all right, I just hit the trigger down. And I'm just gonna go like this and just kill everything.
Anything competitive, I agree, is no good.
Yeah, it's
I would
not.
like to throw another one out that I just thought of. Pokemon is great when you're sick. It's great when you're sick. It doesn't have a great story, but it's there.
I did Rogue Legacy, and that was I'm getting back onto Rogue Legacy again. I beat it once. I'm trying to do the New Game Plus. Like for the first time ever, I'm doing a New Game Plus. And it's like I could do it, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, I died. Oh, I'm dying. So I thought that was cool. I tried. It was fun at least. Still, I'm trying out Sly Cooper 2, Band of Thieves. I think it's I think it's called Band of Thieves.
That was a good game.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
one.
on the
Yeah.
PlayStation.
It's fun.
2?
I think it's the second. Yeah, I think it's PlayStation
Yeah.
2. Yeah, because it started on PlayStation 2. So yeah,
Yes.
and so it's like it's fun, but at the same time, it's like I played it for a little bit and I stopped, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting back into it. Oh, what do I do? You know what? This is just too much. I didn't want to do Tales of Symphonia because that's way too much reading, and I want to pay attention to everything. I suddenly just got like I missed like the Warcraft thing. Like, well, besides Dota, obviously, what was the best mod that came out in Warcraft 3?
Enfos.
Yeah, I loved Enfos too.
Enfos was really good.
Did so this was back in my day when I was playing StarCraft. They had a Godzilla mode where you had you had a like a crazy Ultralisk, like 1,000,000 hit points, and like instant kill on damage, and then everyone else just got like a crazy base with like building up, like was up to like 100% faster and all that, and then so like it was just like he was Godzilla, and he had to fight the rest of like the bases. Did anyone ever make
I've
that?
heard
No.
of that one. They did make
Yeah.
one for Warcraft. I remember playing that one,
Okay.
but I was awful at it, and everybody yelled at me, so I never played it.
When you said like there's a bunch of bases, I'm just like, please make an Ace of Base reference. Please make an
gosh.
Ace of Base reference.
Well, it's either the aces of base. Yeah.
I loved Green T. Like I loved Green TD. Like Green TD was one of my favorites. Like I remember it was the first TD that I ever played, and I know actually Plague and Jet were there when I first played it, and I was just god awful. And
what is that? What is it?
Do you want to explain it?
Yes, please.
You explain. Oh, okay, I mean I can't explain it. Pretty much, Green TD is you have all these creeps are like set along a path, and your job is to kill all of them before they reach a base. You're only allowed to like have a certain amount, like if it's on easy,
Tower
it's like
defense.
50. Yeah, it's tower defense. Like it's a very basic one, but it's very fun for how basic it is. And the first time I was just like god awful, but like as I started playing like I just remember like Clegg and Jet were like, why don't we just put you over here where that gets only like one creep wave? Let's not have you be.
Yeah, well, and see, that was actually the issue. Is the easier places are when you get more, and then the harder ones are when you get the less. And I didn't think about that at the time.
But I got better over time, and eventually soloed hit. Humble brag, but it was just a fun TD just to play with friends. Like that and Warhammer TD, I thought was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I always preferred that one over Green TD because Green TD you had set places where you could build your towers, and the path was always the same for the creeps. Whereas Warhammer, you made your own maze.
I hated
Right?
this.
Those
I
are
hated
two
trying to make my
different
own
types
maze.
of TDs. I really enjoyed making your own maze because you could come up with really weird shapes.
Yeah, that's the like that's just way too complex for me. Because I just did the
Back and forth.
Whoa.
Back and
Oh,
forth.
I love the spiral. The spiral.
The spiral.
I could never spiral.
Oh my gosh. Just as another one, and this actually ties into a game that actually just came out recently. There was a mod, I think it was called Dawn of the Dead for Warcraft 3, and you would control one space marine, and you would go around and you would fight off zombie hordes and stuff like that. And they just recently came out with a full version of the game, which is called Red Solstice.
Okay.
Looks pretty interesting, but I have heard both good and awful things about it. So
I also loved Custom Hero Builder, where you made like you took like a base hero, and then like you added like special abilities to it. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna have you cleave, and when you cleave, you're gonna do a 200%. Like you can just upgrade it over time to make it like 200%. So you kill one person, and then you just happen to kill like the entire other wave that is just behind him. And so it's like, if it's AoE, oh, I've so got it. Single target, oh, I'm so screwed.
I don't know if you guys remember this one, but there was a skating game where you would go on ice as Illidan.
Yes.
Yeah, I
do
remember
that.
it vaguely. I remember
We
that.
were
So,
horrible at that.
For people that ice worked in Warcraft 3, where you couldn't really control where your units would go, they kind of slide around a little bit, and so they made this game where everybody played a different color Illidan, and you would get on this ice rink, and it was this ridiculous ice rink which had all these obstacles and stuff like that. The game lasted normally about 30 seconds,
Yeah,
because basically it was an obstacle course, and most of you would just fall off the edge, like at the start.
With 3 minutes of loading time beforehand.
Yes.
By the way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one of those games that you would try to get across, and everyone would be swearing, Mario's Kart-esque kind of thing. Shenanigans would ensue.
What was the one game? It was something versus sheep. Where like,
it was a tower defense.
it wasn't a tower defense. You played as a hero. Each hero had like certain abilities and stuff, and your goal was to kill sheep. And like the more sheep you killed, the more that spawned over there, and etc. etc.
Let me.
Don't know.
Is it rabbits versus sheep?
I think it's rabbits versus sheep. Yes,
That's
I remember
very-
we played that for a little bit as well.
There's too many to name.
Did y'all see the StarCraft 2 cinematic for Legacy of the Void
Yes.
that came out yesterday or today?
Is it a Blizzard cinematic?
It's a Blizzard cinematic, Murph.
Yeah,
It's
all
pretty.
right.
It's
pretty.
really pretty.
It's real pretty.
I saw one Legacy of the Void cinematic. I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful. What is this game? Legacy of the Void. Well, I'm not playing this game.
Turn
Oh,
off.
man. The StarCraft story is so good.
I know, like I hear it's really good, but it's like I just suck at RTSs. Like I can't do it for some reason. Like Murph, Murph, how are you at RTSs?
You just win.
How are you at
Oh, my
RTSs?
I'm not very good. I like the base building kind of stuff. Like I actually broke out Tropico 4 over the weekend, and just built myself a little communist paradise.
How is Tropico? Like that's the game that's like always on sale on Steam, and I just see it's like,
fine.
should I get this?
No, I mean it's fine.
That's not a very glowing recommendation.
No, it's if you want to build if you like building the base part of stuff, like it's kind of like it's like a really light Sim City.
I got you.
Okay. So
I just want to see the Murph review on Steam reviews, where it's just like it's fine.
it was fine.
That's the thing. Like
I think
most
what
games
we should do is like if we're gonna create like a reviewing, like if we're gonna be slightly taken seriously with reviews of games, we'll have like, Curtis will have one review, Clegg will have another. Me was like the 3 adjectives. Murph's review is just gonna be one basic sentence. It's like Tropico 3. It was fine.
Dark
First-
Souls.
first can
the
be an
best
emoji.
thing- the best thing.
Pokemon. It's meh.
It's Pokemon's.
There you go. That's your statement.
Murph just makes noises on his.
Oof.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna do this. Amnesia.
Ooh, that's scary.
Civilization.
Quick note.
And
Amnesia
free
is
now.
free
Where did my
right
time
now.
go?
Ooh.
Amnesia is free
got
right
it
now,
already.
just so for
Was
everybody's
it
knowledge.
a machine for pigs or
The first one. The first one is free until I think Thursday.
Gone
Ooh, that's
Home.
scary. Oh, great.
Feel free to chime in with games, guys. I'm trying to think of
Okay.
something. Painkiller.
Mario Kart.
I
Painkiller.
never played Painkiller.
Okay.
Mario Kart.
Fucking Blue Shell.
I was just
Gosh,
waiting
I gotta edit this now.
Dark Souls.
Oh, great.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Haven't played it.
Okay. Clegg, feel free to jump in on this. I'm loving this. One sentence reviews with Murph.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. What's up, bro?
Half-Life 2.
Ooh. Huh.
Where's the 3?
Half-Life 3.
Question mark.
You're like Al Pacino in like Scent of a Woman. Hooah.
Ah!
Half-Life 2. Hooah.
Mm.
Here's the Storm.
I think this is a sound effect.
That's-
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Just me kind of go.
I'm waiting to see the reviews of like Steam, like Steam reviews are already funny as it is. Oh wait, because these are always funny. The Sims 4, any sim game.
No.
Oh my
This is too
gosh.
much fun.
The-
This is
We'll end this for now. We'll probably do a little bit of it next week. Thank you guys very much for watching us on YouTube or listening to us via podcast. You could like us on Facebook, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You can follow me on Twitter at Chase Bunker. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at @that_game_show. You can follow Murph on Twitter at Dork Night Show. That is Dork and then Night without the K.
Yep, like at the time of day.
And then show.
And if I also, me and a buddy at work, we are now doing some Let's Plays on YouTube.
All
We've
right.
got quite a few up. Yeah. It's under his name. I'm just the guy yelling in the background.
So it's youtube.com/
Mikesimum Tomato. His name is Mike. My name is Murphy.
nice.
All right. Maximum Tomato. I will make
Mike N hyphen or N apostrophe Murphy.
All right.
So like Mike and Murphy.
All right. I can get behind that. So it's going to be Curtis. We now need to compete. We have a competition in Let's Plays.
Huh?
We're going to try to do a Let's Play channel so we can compete with them.
There you go.
And
Friendly
Chris and
competition.
Andy, our friends over at Chris and Andy.
For the first time ever, I have logged into my Twitter, and I can tell you that I have been tweeted once. And that
Really?
is strange.
I could have sworn I've tweeted you like multiple times. Like, see if it's me. See if it's me right now.
No, it's actually Gamer Nation Radio.
Really?
Yep.
Gamer Nation. All right, let's plug all of our friends real quick. All right, so we watch Chris and Andy play on YouTube. They're friends of the show. Listen to Gamer Nation Radio, our friends at Self-Made Dame and Johnny Boy. Check them out on Shout Engine and of course on iTunes. Geekly Podcast with our friend Mel Weezy, who is probably one of our biggest supporters ever. Like,
Man, that theme song is just incredible.
it is like them, and of course, like he's a big supporter of Mega Ran, who follows me on Twitter for some strange reason. It's like you're much too talented to follow me on Twitter. But Mel
Trying to be
Weezy,
funny.
yeah, Mel Weezy is one of our biggest supporters of the show. Of course, like, everybody else, they're friends of the show, but by God, he just supports like everything I do. So I cannot thank that man enough. So also check out that sports show. It sounds like I'm man crushing, but I'm not fully. Check out that sports show if you actually like sports. But if you're listening to this, you probably don't. So that's okay. Other than that, Chris, did I forget anything?
Don't think so.
Murph, did I forget anything?
You're good with me.
Clegg, did I forget anything?
I think you're all set.
All right, cool. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.